hello, everyone. Here we go again, right? Let me just shrink this back up to the normal size. Well, that's funny. I don't know why it's doing that, but let's move it over that way. And there we go. I am live. I hope you're all able to see me now. I see two people hopping in and getting on board, so I hope you're all here. Hello, Michael Root. Good. See, I don't understand. I just don't understand. But then again, maybe I just wasn't meant to understand. Morgan Russman, hello. Gary, hello. Hello. Everyone's pouring in there. Great from Alaska. Good deal. So, everyone, welcome to Farpoint Farms live feed on the 29th day of December 2018. I would imagine this will be the last live feed for the year. But y'all have asked me to do more live feeds, do them more often, and I am trying to. Again, I'm trying super hard to get this working on Google Hangouts so I can have guests on. I've got Rockin' Woody, my friend from the other side of the state, who really wants to do videos with me and do live shows, and we're trying. So if anyone here wants to get in contact with me via email after the show is over or another day, maybe give me some pointers on how to do this, how to do like some of these other shows where they got live broadcasts and they got guests and phone calls and all that. Love to hear it, man. Hello to everyone. Let's see here. We got Beluga Studios, Northeastern Pennsylvania. Rooster, good to see you as always. Jamaica. For a second, I was like, Jamaica, but then I was like, Jamaica, Virginia. Hey, Dwight, good to see you, man. John, what's going on, my brother? Terry, hello from Indian Trail, North Carolina. Well, that's not too far from here, maybe an hour or two. Rooster saying Modesto sucks. Jeffrey saying, hey, Eric, waving at you from the Great Lakes. Good to see you. DX is rolling in PA. It is. And I don't know how many of you are logging on or logging off, but Jeff is saying try to get me on Hangouts, but I don't have any contact info. I have no idea what's going on with Hangouts. I really want to get to understand how to work that system. But, yeah, learning curve. I guess the gray and the hair there kind of, I don't know, technology. What can I say? Now, I got you on CB, but that's about all I can do these days. JB's Lover. Hey, what's up, my friend? Jeff Lake, San Francisco is here. A nice early day over there, probably hopefully warm in there. AOS is good live stream help. Rooster, I will check that out, my friend. Terry O'Neill, where are you in the mountains? Well, I don't like to give away my exact location, but I am in the northwestern part of North Carolina's mountains, and right near the Tennessee line, to be quite honest with you. It's cold. We got a little bit of snow the other day. Today we had rain, but right now it's not so bad, man. Not so bad. Dirty Diaper 21, Happy New Year to you. Appreciate it as always. Working every day in the city. Yeah, buddy. So I don't know if any of you were listening to the, where I was just talking to myself pretty much for the last 10 minutes. But I did want to say no results came up for Farpoint Farms. I'll look. I'll figure that out, man. It's interesting. But first, before I go any farther, let me go back to what I was saying because I'm kind of stoked about this. I'm super excited. This fine fellow YouTuber who I hope shows up tonight. And I don't know. I'm using the name that's on the invoice. I don't want to use his real name. I didn't really talk to him about eBay name, YouTube name or what name, but I'm going to call him Eddie. Eddie, a YouTuber, was kind enough to send me as a Christmas gift 5 not cheap cigars, like real cigars, like really good smelling cigars, man. And that would be the Acid Cuba Maduros, the Acid Cuba Cubas. And they came with a nice ashtray and a nice lighter and a nice cutter because a real cigar doesn't have a hole in it. So at some point tonight, I'm going to fire that baby up and smoke that thing live on the air and enjoy that. Let's see what we got here. We can see us, just couldn't see you. Yeah, Jeff, that seems to be the case. I've tried this 3 times now. It has the section on the side for chat, but whenever you all are typing in your stuff, it doesn't show up for me. So that's kind of a bummer because it has a lot more function and control. You can do video calls. You can do all this stuff. It's just, I can't figure out how to use it. Maybe it's operator error. Most likely it's operator error. Travis, say, waving a hand from Ontario. Now, you fellas are probably cold tonight. Gosh, I'm assuming, where am I? Somewhere north and west of Boone. Boone is like maybe an hour and 20 minutes from here, so pretty close, yeah. Jeff saying going to SSB, CB still work. That's right. Your Google Hangouts name would be your Google email address. Okay, that's good to know. it's farpoint.farms. No, wait. Yeah, farpoint.farms.survival@gmail.com. And that's also available on my webpage. If you go to my YouTube page under contact, that's not some secret email. I want everyone to be able to contact me privately if they want to talk to me that way. So just for everyone else to know there. Jeff, good evening from Indianapolis. I was born in Indianapolis. So there you go, buddy. Dirty Diaper, make CB radio great again. I like it. Maybe I'll get a shirt made up. You ever notice, like, on a lot of YouTubers' channels, well, like big YouTuber channels, not guys like me, but they always talk about merchandise. Come check out my merchandise. They got shirts and hats and hoodies and stuff. My wife was kidding around with me while we were in the car driving around for Christmas, and she said, you should make CBs great again, or a shirt with bring CBs back or something. I don't know, but I'm just not that smart. Let's see who else we got here. Hello, Butch. Happy New Year to you, my friend. One other guy who used to be on CB radio in the 80s. I still got my regional CB. Oh, cool, man. Good to hear that. And there he is. Dallas Rife, are we live again? I tried a video hangout call. No answer. Dallas Rife is the fella who sent me this. And let me get it off the shelf. Wait, let me unhook the cabling. And watch me drop it on the ground. Thank you very much, Dallas. This is an RCI, and it is pretty cool. I don't know. Let's see if I can get close to it. There we go. RCI 2970DX. Super cool radio. 10, 11, and 12 meter ham radio, all decked out. And I've never had a radio anywhere near this nice. All the big boys play with cool radios like this. I guess I've just never been cool or a big boy. But I am definitely cool now. So big shout out and thanks to Dallas for really making my Christmas special, man. And I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much, my man. Jeff is saying, I see you got a new car on your new lift, working well. It sure is. I was working on my little runabout today, and I'm very, very, very pleased with that. It has already saved my back a bunch of trouble. I was pulling wheels off and doing front brake pads on it, and I realized I bought the wrong brake pad, so that's why it's still up in the air. But yeah, that lift is so cool, man. It's one of those things where I wish I had bought it 15 years ago, really. We always make excuses for why we don't want to get something. And for me, it was always about, oh, geez, I don't want to put a two-post lift in because of all the work involved in modifying my garage to fit it. Coming across that, realizing it would do what I needed to do, just really, it's like having a whole new garage here, that's for sure. So that's super cool, man. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, Rooster's chiming in. Good man, Dallas. Dallas, you run the night tonight, my friend. That was awesome. Jeff's commenting that he's getting his ham license next month. Good for you, man. Everybody ought to have a ham license. I have a license, and the thing I don't like about ham licensing is that with your call sign, they can get right to you. So any weirdo on the internet can track you down, get your full address, your name, even your license plate numbers in a lot of states. Oh, I hate that part. That is why I have never given my ham license operator number out on the air, and that is probably why I never will. So, but ham is still really cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do on there. Dallas, who welcome Eric, enjoying it. Thanks for the shout out from Manchester, Tennessee. Like I said, you run in the night, my friend. That is such a cool radio. I finally got a chance to come out here today and play with it some. Of course, I had other stuff going on, but it was picking up some great signals. Skip's been rolling here pretty much all day, so got to play with it some. I've got to dig out a bigger power supply because all I had was a 19 amp, and it's not enough for it when it's at full capabilities, let's say. So I know you had said a 50 amp. It's something I'm going to have to go out and dig out, but it sure is fun to play with, man. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Jeff is saying he's too old to lay on the concrete. Yeah, buddy. Last year I did that Yugo restoration, and I think that was pretty much where it all ends for me. I just can't be on my hands and knees working on that stuff anymore. I'm just crawling around and using the roller to get up underneath. It's just getting too much. So this thing really, really is helpful. Butch is saying Skip's rolling good tonight. Yeah, it is, man. It is. We'll turn it on here in just a bit. There's actually some dude was being a real jerk on it, but other than that, it's been fun. And there's other stations. So if we all want to try to get on and talk, I'll bet you I'll make some contacts with y'all tonight because it is definitely the atmosphere is just right. Let's say. Jim's saying I'm late. You're never late. I'm here forever, man. Don't worry about it. Doug's asking, do I still have any snow on the ground? We have about 25 inches in my house. Doug, we had the weirdest thing, and I filmed a video of this. So we got the 18 inches of snow. We got some rain, and like a couple of days of sunlight and then some rain. And so most of it had melted away. Maybe a few inches still on the ground. And then we got another 6 or 7 inches that came in. So we're back up to about a foot or so. And what happened was yesterday, temperature went from being right around freezing all week to 50 some odd degrees, and it rained 3.5 inches, wiped out all the snow, but it also caused really bad flooding around here. And I've got some videos, the bridge that I have coming to the house, totally flooded out, totally wasted. So pretty cool video. And now it's back down towards freezing here. So we'll probably get some snow in the next day or two, but I'm already sick of it. And we're not even in January yet. Jeffrey saying ham's delicious. Had it for Christmas dinner. Hey, me too, man. Pig meat is really good. This magical creature that gives out bacon, ham, pork chops. It's incredible. Andrea Flores, what frequencies can you put into a scanner to listen to ham? Well, it depends on your scanner, but if you take a look, go on to Google or whatnot and look at ham bands, and they'll give you the sections, 10 meter, 40 meter, 80 meter, 6 meter, and they'll break down the frequencies there. So the problem is with, you're entering in a scanner, you're entering in a frequency. So you have a frequency that you're specifically going to be scanning past, where on ham, pretty much you want to scan the whole range of frequencies. And so that makes scanners maybe not ideal for going through ham, but they will work. Some shortwave radios will also pick up a lot of the ham bands. Something to think about. Dallas Rife, yeah, you have to redneck engineer a car battery and put a trickle charger on it. Been there, done that. Yeah, and that's something I did back in the 90s when I had a little foot warmer back in the day. I saw him warming up my hands here. Hang on a second. I got a little kerosene heater going right next to me. So if it comes to that, that's exactly what I'll do. And tomorrow I'll be out here playing some more and probably get it hooked up. Like I said, I had it hooked to the old Antron and it was working pretty good. Just don't have enough amperage to transmit really. Morgan Russman's mentioning, you mentioned not giving out your call sign on ham. What do you do as a call sign? No. When I'm talking on ham radio, I do give out my call sign, but I don't in my videos here because, man, I don't know. I've never really gotten into this, but over the years, I have 13,000 subscribers. I have 3 million views, and I would say 99.999% of conversations that I've had with folks have been really positive, really good, really nice people. But just like the real world, occasionally you run into people who are not nice people. Right? I mean, it's pretty obvious to all of us they exist in this world. In all the years that I've been doing this, which is going on close to 4 now, I've only had to ban 6 people. And those are people usually that were insulting or threatening other people in the comment section. And then there were 2 that were just jerks. I mean, one of them straight up threatened me. The other one was just childish, let's say. And I got tired of trying to deal with somebody who obviously had mental problems. So I banned them. As a funny side note to this, there is a person, and God bless him, whoever he is, but he makes sure that every single video I put out, he puts 1 thumbs down. So you go through a video, and I knew he must have been away for Christmas because I put out the video on the gas can. And I was like, come on, man, where's the thumbs down? And it took him a couple of days. So usually he's like spot on, man. Same day, get my old thumbs down from him. And I appreciate that from him. I mean, what can you do? So I assume it's one of the 6 people I've banned over the years because, he's never come on here and cursed me out on the comment section. But maybe someday I'll unblock all of them and give him a chance to vent again for a little while. Anyway, that's that. That's why I don't like giving out too much personal information, if you can understand that. I'm sure you can. And I've missed a bunch of people while I was rambling. Rooster, I did sell a Yugo. I sold it to a gentleman in Ohio. So yeah, it's gone. I've been looking for a new project. I went and looked at some campers. I looked at a Metro convertible. I actually looked at a 1978 Chevy Chevette just the other day, and a little too far gone for me. But I'm really into like really weird cars. So Yeah, I'm waiting on the next new project. Lawrence commenting that there was good skip going on in Texas Hill County. That's cool, man. 65 down here today. Terry, I'm jealous. Checking in from East Texas. Hello, Michael Sean. How you doing, man? And Marky Tube HD. Hello. Marky Tube HD. Is that Marky Shaw by any chance? Is that maybe you rename yourself? I don't recall that name coming in before. Oh man, I'm gonna scroll through some of these here. I'm just reading them. Oh yeah, Beluga Studios on your CB versus Ham. There was a lot of hate mail on that, and everyone's entitled to an opinion, but there were a lot of ticked off folks about that for sure, man. And opinions are like, what, we all have them. So I'm not sure why they got so bent out of shape, man. But Lauren Johnson, hey Eric, you need to get a diesel air heater. They work very well. I will check into that, my man. I'll check into it. I've got the wood burning stove, but I decided not to fire it up because today it was warm and it started getting cooler and cooler and cooler, and it's like, bleh. I don't know. But I got the little kerosene one here, and as long as I'm within a few feet, I'll be fine this evening. Hey, Doug got one of those V777 radiation detection kits like I got. Cool for you, bro. I think they're really neat. And for the price, it's an insurance policy. It's in the closet right now. I got a pack of D batteries to go with it. And if the you-know-what hits the you-know-what, well, good to have, right? Drop a 454 in it. Woo! I've seen guys do V8 conversions on Chevettes back in the day, and they were insane, man. Like you couldn't keep them from breaking loose, no doubt about it. Yeah, Terry O'Neill's. Wow, man. Mike's commenting that over there in Australia, it's 104 degrees. Crazy, man. He's asking also, what do you think about CB UHF 477 band? Well, and to us, that's near the 70 centimeter, and it's, it's like the business band is what I always refer to it. I don't know why I always say that. I probably ought to change to something better, but so I like them. I mean, they have limitations. I've never had one of those CB setups from overseas, but they do have limitations. They do have better sound quality up front, but they're, skip non-existent in the 70 centimeter band pretty much. So that's pretty much my only issue with it. Morgan saying, oh, sorry, misheard you a little. I know what you mean. Yeah, it is full. Morgan, you understand. I think everyone can understand. And I'm like a huge, huge advocate for freedom of speech. Whether I agree with what you're saying or not, I think it's cool to allow you to have that venue. And obviously, we've talked real briefly about some of the issues that are going on as far as internet censorship. In fact, we talked about how I stopped making cigar videos for a long time because of that. But I do feel like the people that I have banned from talking, the 6 people that I have banned from talking on my stuff, I banned them because they were insulting other people, and I felt like it was bad for the channel, like it might drive other people off the channel. And of the 2 people that I banned, one of them definitely had mental problems, and the other one was straight up like threatening me, which is not cool. So that's why I did those things. It's tough decisions to make, but I did it. Aussies are cool, Rooster. Hell yeah. Clyde saying, what are the advantages of an SSB CB transceiver over ham radio technology-wise? Ease of use. Okay, so a CB is going to be easier to use out of the box than a ham radio by far. That's going to be one of the main advantages. Sideband, you're looking at probably roughly double the range of a regular CB AM radio. And of course, skip works a lot better on sideband. It just works. I don't know why. It just seems to me that sideband skip is fun. Now, ham radios, obviously, you can switch bands. So you can find skip on pretty much most bands, depending on the day or the atmospheric conditions. And ham also allows you to go way up in wattage and be able to talk worldwide when there's not skip sometimes. So ham radio definitely has advantages. CB stuff has advantages. Cost and ease of use is why CB became popular and stays popular. Doug's asking about the HD1 radio. Still have it. Great radio. I don't get any 2-meter traffic up here. I put a directional 2-meter antenna on the roof and get nothing. So not happy with that. DMR mode is also pretty well useless. So up here now, go to a big city and I'm sure it's rocking and rolling. So do like the HD1, and I also have our Retrievus RT83 that was just sent to me for a review, and it's more of a business band, 70 centimeter, again, like I always call it that, the 400 range, megahertz range, and it's a great radio as well. Just finished doing some work on it the other day. Let's see here. Butch is asking, can you on a scanner the frequency already pre-programmed on most scanners 2 meter and 6? I'm not sure I understand that, Butch. I'm gonna let you type that one, or maybe somebody else can help him out with that. Terry's talking about keyboard warriors. Pretty much. Again, like some stuff, like if you're trying to make a joke but you're being insulting, I don't care. But this one guy, yeah, he was definitely like real threat. So tough guy. Show up at my house and find out how long you live. You'll never make it up the driveway, I promise you. If the dogs don't get you, the shotgun will, right? When tuning your antenna to your CB, should your car be on or off? That's a decent question, man. Key on, engine off. Key on, engine off will be just fine. One thing another YouTuber pointed out to me is that having your doors open is going to change the SWR reading. So when tuning it, you should be in the car with the car doors closed, key on, engine off, and that's pretty cool. Rooster's pointing out that Eric is red-pilled. You are correct, sir. I've been awake since before awake was a thing. It's really easy to watch the news and realize that what they're telling you is absolutely garbage on both sides. And it makes you really want to stop and think, geez, why are they talking about this so much? There must be something much, much more important going on that they are slipping in right under the old radar there. You know what I mean? But saying he can't type for the crap. No problem, my friend. Dennis, how you doing? Happy holidays, and happy holidays to you, my friend. Man, I'm missing a whole bunch of these. I'm talking to, oh man, I missed a bunch of these. Oh my gosh. Dallas, did the 6-pin to 4-pin mic adapter come in handy? Yep. Dallas, I used it with the realistic that I have here. I like that. It's pretty nice. And I think I'm going to, I've got a D104 lollipop mic. I'm going to rewire it to fit for that 4-pin configuration. I'm going to use it with that. Have you ever used a Cobra 140? That's what I got for my birthday. Cobra made great base stations back in the day. So although I've never used a 140, I've used the 142 and the 138, and they're both awesome. Ryan's asking, is it possible to hear Skip on a regular AM CB? Yes, sir, it certainly is. Check out channel 6 and 11, and a lot of times on 16 and 21, and those are big operators, put up a lot of power. Generally speaking, Skip on AM, you're going to run with a lot of wattage. A lot of the guys that do that are using a lot of horsepower behind it. My thoughts on a Galaxy DX949. Awesome radio, like the RCI, a big boy radio, something I've never been able to afford. So I don't have any personal experience with it, but I've certainly heard a lot of guys on the other end of the mic, or other end of that radio on those things, and they always sound pretty cool. Lauren Johnson, hey man, I just got on Christmas Eve and I'm almost done with the installation of a diesel air heater. Cool, man. I will definitely do it, man. Rooster's telling me you got my back. You let me know who's threatening you. Well, if it comes to that, let's hope it never comes to that, man. Oh man, I'm going to just read a bunch of these. Oh gosh, there's a lot here. Zach saying he used to smoke Dutch Masters on occasion. Never had them. Love Dutch Master cigars. I love the Dutch Masters Edition. And I love Dutch Master Presidents. So, yeah, Dutch Master is probably second favorite cheap cigar I smoke. You and me both. We're going to lay the smack down. Good, Jeff and Rooster, you got my back. Glad to hear it, man. A lot of people chiming in there. Vacuum Tube Junkie, hello, from Commie, California, Eric. Time to put up a halfway dill pulver. Damn, let's do it. Jeffrey's pointing out that Awake is good. It is, but it's kind of sad. Haven't you ever just wondered if you just wanted to maybe be into Dancing with the Stars and not really care about politics or about constitutional issues or things like that? I kind of wish sometimes that I could just slip into that, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be happening. Man, you guys are rolling through this really quick. There's a lot of people online tonight. 56 folks. That's good. You got me interested in CB. Just picked up a couple of Radio Shack mobiles on eBay. Tim, glad to hear it, man. Welcome to the club, my friend. Let's see here. Hey, the ComSat works great. Hey, man. Cool, Mr. Tanner. Let's see here. 2 meter and 6 meter are already pre-programmed. That's what Butch was saying. Okay, cool beans, brother. Dallas Rife, we need to ask. Oh, man, I'm missing half the conversations here. Got a 980B SSB after watching a review, waiting on the antenna to try it out. man, the 980 is a great radio. I really love mine. It's been really good to me, and it may be getting installed now that I've got this fine radio from Mr. Rife that I'm probably going to be installing that unit in one of my cars. There's a way to get that thing to fit in to a DIN slot, and that's my dream for the coming year. Michael Sean saying, "Too late when you're awake." It is, man. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, and that's it. Dallas Rife's asking, "Just how big a boy are you?" Woo! Well, not that big, brother. This fellow's asking, "I wonder what the average age of a CB user is." I would say base station users probably my age, maybe a little bit older. But, a lot of folks getting into CB, man. People get in all the time. I know a lot of kids, at the local high school got big whips on the back of their truck. So there's plenty of people getting in and out of it. Every hobby at any age, I would imagine. Caesar man, wish I had a handsome sugar daddy. Yeah, but I ain't been called handsome in many years, so thank you very much. Oh, man, everyone's going here. Oh, man, I'm going to just stay out the side. Rife gets Dennis, Dallas, your last name gets pronounced bad, huh? Well, I'm glad I got it right. Dallas Rife. Sounds good to me, man. Oh, man, I got so many. My grandpa used to smoke tobacco out of a pipe from time to time. Me and my bro. Well, now it's not legal in my state, so we can't talk about that. Corbin wants to know what my favorite CB is and why. Well, let's talk about that twice, right? So if I had to say, oh my gosh, there's one CB I always wanted to have, it would definitely be probably what a lot of y'all have on the top of your list. And that would be the Cobra 2000 because it's just so darn cool looking. As far as what a modern CB should look like and be like dreaming about, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, obviously something like the RCI or the Galaxy, those are like, I think they're called export model CB radios. So everyone always dreams about those. But if we're going to keep it to like a genuine CB, then I'd probably say something from like the President Grant 2, which I don't think they make anymore, or the McKinley is a great radio. And obviously my unit in 980 is right up there. So I'm pretty happy with all those. Let's see here. Morgan, I've seen your TV antenna video, and I agree with you on hooking an antenna up to your TV. There's just nothing good on TV anymore. Pretty much, dude. It's like all the same. The hands-free law, Jeff, is actually functional in California and includes CB. Huh? That's interesting to know because I do know some states on the East Coast have that, but it does not include CB mics. Oh, KS Enduro is 26, has several base stations and mobile. So there you go. There are a lot of younger users on there as well. Michael Root, the Midland 75-785 is the best CB. Okay, well, that's something I'll have to Google when we get done. Jeff Lake, is that right? I'm definitely putting it in my truck now. Vacuum Tube Junkie. Big Hair Antenna.com is taking the solar comms to a whole new level. You can send your personal antenna and they will modify it. Interesting. So they must be maybe upgrading components in that, I guess. Every year he goes to the Outer Banks to get Trader Jack cigars. Best he ever had, Jack. Well, Zach, sounds interesting. I've never tried those before, but I'll certainly keep an eye out for them. Last time we were on the air, I had a YouTuber asking me about Mooney Maker cigars, asking if I ever come across them. Turns out Mooney Maker is no more. They got bought by another company. And it also turns out that I have one Mooney Maker cigar left in my humidor. If that person would contact me on my private email, I would be very pleased to send that cigar off to them. So just let me know if you hear that. Oh, man, a lot of people talking. I'm sorry if I missed some of you guys. There's just so many people going. It's hard to keep up with everybody. Let's see. Jeff Rooster checked in. Let's see. Beluga Studios. I'm 14, just recently got into CB. I have a base and a mobile now. So there we go. That's the full gamut here. We got 14 to probably, just right next to the grave. Like sometimes I feel like I'm getting close to. Corbin's saying he has a Midland 101Z. I had that radio. It's a good little radio, and that was in my wife's car for many years before we got rid of that old car. Actually sold the radio with the car. The guy wanted the radio, so that was cool. Dallas Rife, did you watch that Noonan SS Link where he mods it? Yes, dude. That's crazy. The Stinger board I've heard of, but some of the other stuff there, that's a heck of a that's a heck of a setup there. I like that. Mike Miller's President Zachary T base station. Excellent radio, good old school base station. Jeff saying doesn't hear any over the road radio traffic out here anymore. Hey, look, when I went on my little Christmas trip with my wife, we had the President Bill installed in her car, which worked flawlessly. And there were plenty of truckers talking. Man, it was Christmas Eve and folks were on the road, and there was a hell of an accident, and it saved us a bunch of trouble and time. But yeah, truckers were still talking here in North Carolina. So that's pretty cool. Corbin's saying he's 13. So son is 11, has 2 CBs. Jeff is chiming in. Lots of young folks then. So there's hope for the hobby yet, isn't there? Jeff's 56, more in my age group. So yeah, we got the whole thing, man. Tiny is saying he blew up my 980 before yesterday, fired it up, and the antenna switched. Oh, 1,000 watts going nowhere. Sorry to hear that, Tiny. That's a bummer, dude. Man. Rooster saying he wasn't really wanting to put a CB in his truck. Now he's for sure. Modesto, California. Yeah, it seems like, I mean, I understand cell phone laws, people texting, you know, like talking on the radio and talking on the phone, probably not the safest thing you can do, but they're not texting. It's a very different event. And I do agree with laws probably saying you probably shouldn't be texting, because I've seen some people texting while driving that I think I would have rather been driving next to a drunk driver than that. So matter of fact, the only real bad accident I've ever been into, I was hit by a young lady who was texting while driving. So it certainly is a bit of a distraction for them. But as far as CB, I mean, your eyes are still on the road. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Dallas, you're going to get one of those 980s? Wow. Yeah, that's a heck of a radio. Maybe you could do a video on it when you get it and let us know how it all works out. I certainly would be interested in seeing it play out for you there. Jeff's saying it's a California thing, yeah. Do you plan on hooking up the sweep tube amp to your 2970? No, I think that 2970 probably throws enough horsepower downrange all by itself. Tim is chiming in that there are a few locals here on chat on AM almost every night. And I'm the same way, dude. I get lucky with that. I've got 2 groups just on the other side of the mountain range in Tennessee that chat. And they're old timers. And I do mean like old timers, like probably 70s, maybe some in their 80s. But they're fun to talk to. They're super nice. So it's cool. Jeff Lake's talking about control in California. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right, is to squeeze us until we have nothing left to squeeze. I drive a semi, see 50-plus people texting every day. That's kind of scary, isn't it, man? Semi-professional hillbilly. What are you going to do with that homebrew antenna video? I have a dill pole hanging out in the garage, and it works. So I need to do that. There's a lot of things I need to do. I was trying to get part 2 of base station antennas done, which would have covered, you know, your Antrons, your Solarcons, your Mac 5.8s, stuff like that, the old big stick. But weather moved in, and it's more of an outside type video making thing. So I probably won't get that done until early spring. But you know what? That's perfect timing, because come early summer, we'll go ahead and I'll buy some equipment and get some wire, and we will make ourselves a good old fashioned homebrew antenna. And then we'll put it up there. We'll get it up there on that antenna mast that I built last year, which, by the way, is working really well still. So we'll do it, man. Hang in there. I wish I was doing this full time, but this is just fun time, you know? Dallas is saying doesn't do videos on YouTube. Got a better chance of seeing Jesus breakdancing in downtown Atlanta. I'll keep an eye out for him, my friend. Oh, man. I talk to coal truck drivers all day as they drive by the houses. Want to talk about fun, man. Tiny's chiming in with that. Yeah, some of the dump truck drivers around here are heck fun to talk to in the morning, man. I'll drive and there'll just be local traffic, and these guys get cranky. They get moody, and you know they're having their own issues. So it's usually kind of fun. I like that. Have you ever had any Pierce Simpson radios? Joe wants to know. Yes, sir. I certainly have. Oh, gosh, I got a couple of them at a Goodwill or someplace. Maybe it was a flea market years ago. Do you remember them being good radios? They were all 23 channel, but they were good radios. Let's see here. You know what, guys? First, let me warm up my hands for a second. I'm going to turn the radio on. Let's see if we can talk. Is anybody on their radio tonight? They got it locally, or set up around here? Oh yeah, that's better. Oh yeah. Let's go with Let's go with 36 lower sideband, see what happens. Rooster saying, thank Trump for all those coal jobs. You're on 38. I want to go to 36 because 38 had a bunch of kind of weird stuff going on. You ready? CQDX. This is Farpoint Farms in the mountains of North Carolina, trying for a break. Got somebody in there, but I don't think he's listening to the show. Give it another shot. Oh, CQDX. This is Farpoint Farms in the mountains of North Carolina, trying for a break.
I've seen their videos.
That's me, my friend. I'm live right now if you want to get on YouTube. But how you doing tonight? How about you, Oklahoma? I got a copy on you. Yeah, this is Farpoint Farms here in the mountains, North Carolina. You sounding great. I'm doing a live show on YouTube right now. Got about 50 people online listening, man. You say you're out in Oklahoma?
Hello out there, Farpoint Farms, Oklahoma 162. We're waving the hands at you.
Oklahoma 162, man. Glad to hear from you, my friend. I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, Farpoint Farms out there, Oklahoma 162. Wishing you a very happy new year. And like your videos. Keep them up. Roger.
Thank you. Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas to you too. Take care. Well, what do you know? We got somebody in there from Oklahoma.
36 Kentucky, Oklahoma 162.
That's right. Oklahoma has YouTube? Come on now. Oklahoma's a great place to live.
Yeah, somebody just cut you off at the pass there, but I got you in there first.
I'll go ahead and turn it back down. Sounds like we're making some contacts tonight, though. So for those of you who are into CB radio and don't ever talk skip or don't have a sideband radio, that was how easy it is to talk halfway across the country. Isn't that crazy? I just turn on my little 12-watt unit in 980, key down on 36 lower sideband, and poof, all the way up to that Solacon 2009 Max, and it goes off. There it is. Josh, how you doing, brother? Top of the evening to you. Hope your Christmas went well. Did you get any C related? Yes, I did. Let me share it with you, Josh, since you weren't part of the earlier part of this conversation. But here it is, a fellow YouTuber, a fellow fan, apparently, of the station. Let me see if I can get it focused here. There it is. It's an RCI. It's beautiful. It's a 10, 11, 12 meter RCI 2970. It's a beast. Look at it. Look at that cooling heat sink on that thing. Man, this thing must throw some serious wattage downrange. I am super excited to have it, and I can't wait to get it set up. I played with a little bit today. I need to get a bigger power supply for it, but oh man, I can't wait. So yes, I got some CB-related stuff. I also set up the wife's President Bill, and that worked really well on our trip. So good Christmas. I hope you had a good Christmas too. Hey, before I forget this, guys, speaking of Christmas, did you all notice I got 146 thumbs down for a 17-second Merry Christmas video? I will let you take your minds and wrap around that one real tightly, and you can figure out if there is a war on Christmas or not. How's that sound? Well, let's see. He's still hollering for you out. Oh, man, I'll turn it back on, man. I got it back on 36. Communist, Jeff. Yeah, Rooster, I have no idea what it was actually all about other than, oh, hey, this guy's getting back to me, man. Hang on a second. There's somebody on 36. Hey, this is Far Point Farms again, man. I'm sorry. I had to turn the radio down for a little bit. What were you trying to get in and say? Right on, right on. I hear you out there on that 980. I hear you. Okay, guys, back to it. Couldn't hear me in Pennsylvania. You're saying, I hope everyone's still there. Sometimes when I'm keying down, the cord for the antenna goes right past my little wireless antenna, and I wonder if it causes a delay or causes choppiness. But hopefully everyone's still there. The wife's radio came out great. The President Bill is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back down. I have a real hard time with concentrating on reading and listening and all the rest. But Lauren Johnson, I have an RCI 2970 brand new in the box that he bought in 1996. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to really get into it. I downloaded the manual for it, and I'm going to be doing some heavy reading here tonight and tomorrow morning. And when I get back outside, I'll be able to hook this thing up. And I might do what Dallas was talking about and hook up a car battery to it just so I can, fire that thing up and see if I can get some radio contacts with it. So I'm kind of excited about that. Corbin's talking about how he had Courier Cruiser 23 from the 70s, still working good. Isn't that great how old technology sometimes just hangs in there? Rooster saying that I jumped into the river off that bridge on the way to Stillwater one night. Never, ever jump off a bridge into water at night. You can't see it. Oh, man, I bet you it smacked pretty hard too, dude. That's crazy. Josh says, I also have that old Royce base station hooked up, and it's working great for what I need. Dude, Josh, I'm so happy to hear that. That was a great radio, and I'm glad to hear that it's working out for you. I've sold some of those base stations that I had, and that was one of them. I sold the Cobra as well, which was kind of sad because I really like that. I keep thinking I want to put a base station inside the house, and I don't know. I might take that RCI if I get a good power supply for it and move that into the house since it's such a capable radio, and make that my base station. That with a power supply, take the Antron off of this mast out here and put it inside, keep the solar con out here, or you know what, maybe even buy another antenna. Oh man, see now there's Harsh. So this is somebody I haven't banned. Hey Dusty, how are you, man? Dusty's actually a friend of mine, so he's allowed to insult me all he wants, and he does. So it's cool. Dusty, it's good to see you. Dusty, check it out, man. I got the car up on the lift back here, man. I'm living large these days. Of course, I can't really work on anything because my back is broken and my gut is torn. But other than that, life is grand, my friend. Life is grand. Jeff says we need to connect so you can sell one of your flip radios to me. I'd be happy to. Again, my email address is in my contact info. I usually try to do those things, not in the comment section. So if you're interested in buying a radio from me, if you see me do a review on one or whatnot, just get in touch with me. And sometimes I give them away. So let me try to focus this a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit clearer. Let's see here. Morgan, yeah, Eric, other than the streaming dropping out ever so earlier, the stream hasn't dropped out. Cool, man. I'm glad to hear it. Josh saying, God bless my wife. She lets me put a CB. You have a CB in your bedroom? That is pretty cool, man. That is pretty cool. Dallas is saying, note to self, don't jump off any bridges. Dusty thinks that my lift is going to kill me. Maybe, but not yet, my friend. Not yet. Bruce just saying, Dusty, nobody likes you. Dusty is an all right man. In fact, probably my best friend up here in the mountains. So I love him. He's a good guy. Beluga's saying, how much better is your new base station than the old A99? I would say a little bit. If I wasn't so convinced that the A99 was getting ready to die of old age, I would not have upgraded. But I am glad I upgraded. There's definitely a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a notable difference. So I'm happy with it. Tim saying uses a Cobra 142 GTL with an Antron here in Syracuse, New York. I've got relatives outside of Syracuse. So good for you, man. Glad to hear it. How far have you gone on Skip? I have talked all the way across the world. I have talked to Italy. I have talked to Australia. I don't think I've talked to anyone in Africa that I can remember, but I have talked Iceland and definitely Canada, definitely Mexico, definitely South America. So a lot of the world. I honestly don't remember if I've ever talked to anyone in Africa, but I probably have at some point. Pop Tart, hello from Albany. Hello, my friend. How are you? Those realistic desk mics you have are a very good mic. I bought a Cobra desk mic in a couple days. Yeah, man. That's like a rebranded mic. I can't remember if it's a Turner Superstar or something like that, but it's great. Yeah. Josh, 10-4. Next step, throw out that Workman B100 antenna and get that A99. Definitely. B100, look, if you're in a situation where you don't have the room to put anything else up, B100 is a great way to get into the hobby, but it's definitely not the best way to get in. You know, you're not going to have the great range with that. Hey, I'm Smith and Weston. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Dusty Bottoms. Hey, up to 52 people now, getting popular. You know, when you're cool like me, Dusty, what can you do? It's been an interesting. Dusty, did you have a good Christmas? Your first Christmas. Everyone say, Dusty, congratulations on getting married, man. Dusty, this is your first Christmas with your new family. How did it go, man? Did everything work out well for you, my friend? Josh is asking about acquiring a 102 steel whip antenna and using it as a base station. I did make a video on that, I think, or maybe I didn't. But yes, you can get a ground plane for a 102 and set that up. And when I was a young guy and was broke, I had a 102 steel whip mounted to a metal roofed mobile home, and it worked just fine, man. In fact, it wasn't all that much different from the Antron back in the day. Rooster says Eric's good people. Well, I appreciate that, Roosters. Dustin is too, man. Josh is saying, Gress, a lot of congratulations, man. Jeff, yeah. Smooth sailing. If you ever get back to work, I got something to tell me. Okay, man. Well, I will be back this week, Thursday or Friday. My restrictions for lifting are over. And, my medical issue is slowly healing. So I've had some problems, to those of you out in YouTube world, that I won't be getting into tonight, but I've had some illness. I was actually in the hospital for a little while, but I'm feeling a whole lot better, and medicine cures everything. Well, most things. Jeff saying it's a mistake he'll never make again. Hey, you know, I told a friend once, marriage is the best thing that can ever happen in your life if it's the right person. And if it is not the right person, it is a nightmare that will take you years and thousands of dollars to get out from. I'm lucky enough that I've been married almost 20 years now, and it was the right thing for me, but I've certainly seen many people marry the wrong person or the right person for the wrong reasons, and it leads to utter disaster, man. So I hear you, man. Can you make a ground plane with wire? You can. A little bit complicated, but there are programs online that can teach you the exact length you need for the ground plane. Wow, Dallas, let me scroll back up. That was interesting. Dallas is saying, I have no idea where the mouse went. I guess I won't be able to, but he was talking about a 5,600 mile contact. So pretty sweet, dude. Have you ever used a Fire Stick 7-foot antenna? I have not had a Fire Stick product in my life, but that doesn't mean that I won't at some point. I'm looking at getting a camper, fiberglass roof. I know Fire Stick makes beautiful RV type antennas. So Rooster chimed in. Glad to hear you're doing better. I am, man. Little by little, every day is a winding road, especially as we get older. We have new and unusual things go wrong with us. So that was kind of a surprise out of nowhere. Did put a big cramp in my Christmas plans, but I was able to make it down to see family later on in the month. So how far did I get out with a 102 steel whip? How high did you have it? And did you use a ground rod to ground it to? Great question. So poor. I had poor quality cable. I had just RG58 or 59, whatever not even RG8X, right? So Radio Shack low end stuff. No ground wire, no ground plane. Just used the side of the roof as, the metal ground plane. So I did have a low enough SWR to communicate. The thing that you're looking for, I don't have an answer for, because back then I was talking local like 99% of the time. So I don't think I ever really remember shooting skip. I certainly listened to it back then. I probably wasn't as big into it, but it was all about local, and I could get about 20 miles local, so I was pretty happy with it. You pick up a Punch Champion cigar yet? Smith & Wesson, I have not. I don't know if you were in here, but I had another YouTuber who was kind enough to send me a sampler, a 5-pack of Acid cigars, and it came with a nice cigar ashtray, which is cool because I had it. Came with a lighter and a clipper. So not only look for some new cheap cigar reviews in the very near future, but as I'll be doing some not cheap cigar reviews. So I'm really excited to do that, and I appreciate that. Oh, man. Swamp Fox, been with the wife since 9th grade, going on around 30 years. Holy cow, man. Wow. That's a long time, my friend. Jeff Lake, I wonder, oh, wait. As soon as my youngest graduates, I'm divorcing her. But after 30 years, man, you think you'd be used to it by now. I mean, marriage is abuse, but come on now. Jeff Lake, I wonder if we all signed a petition if we could get Radio Shack back. I miss it too, man. I miss Radio Shack so much. Love that stuff. Dallas is saying he had a QSO card, 5,600 miles confirmed from south of. Wow, man, with that radio. Awesome. I hope to make that. I'm going to make that a life goal, man. You know what I mean? Mark Tiger saying, like the videos, keep up the good work. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate every one of you who chimes in here at night. Morgan's agreeing with me. Marriage is a mixed bag, 50-50. It could be great or it could be horrible. You never know what kind of person you're marrying when you marry someone and you first meet them. And, man, people change. So, people change. Josh is saying, Smith & Wesson, I will be getting back to cigar reviews. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 already filmed. I'm going to be making a 3rd one here. And, I'm going to be getting back onto them. Josh saying, on a different note, I have been putting out a pretty good bug out bag together after watching your video. Cool, man. I've got some new videos related to prepping, homesteading, whatever y'all want to call it. I know it's a dirty word to YouTube censorship. So, but I've made a video on Faraday cages and a video on EMPs. I'm actually thinking about reshooting the EMP video because it's a real downer. But I don't know if any of you are familiar with EMP, electromagnetic pulse, and what it can do to this country. If you're not, read the book 1 Second After from William Forstein. And when you're done crying yourself to sleep, you'll probably want to work on a Faraday cage and probably some supplies for your homestead after that. But Josh, good deal there, man. Bug out bag is always something you need. Let's see here. If it ain't Rat Shack, take it back, brother. You got that right. Fry's has a good selection of CB stuff, but it's an hour's drive for me. I don't think we have a Fry's anywhere in our state that I'm aware of, but if I ever come across one, I'll definitely stop because they have CB stuff. That's cool to know, man. Let's see your radios. Jeff, I'm not sure what that means, my friend. Scott, hello again. 347 out of Boise, Idaho. I'm waiting on a new CB radio from Lester Customs. It's got a linear behind it. Hopefully, I will catch you on Skip one of these days. So, Scott, Lester makes some really cool radios. Again, big boy radios. I'm not that big a boy. So, congratulations to you. That's going to be an awesome radio, man. Michael Sean is prep. Smith & Wesson's prep. Good to know, man. I carry a get home bag in a semi. Good to know it. I mean, it's just like excellent common sense stuff that apparently isn't so common sense anymore. Swamp Fox, excellent book. It is, man. If you haven't read that book, and this is to each and every one of you, whether you're into homesteading or prepping or whatever you want to call it, whether you're into any of that stuff, if you just want to read a scary book that's based a lot in reality, read 1 Second After. And there's 2 sequels, which are also great books, a little more fictional or, imaginary, but great books. Morgan, Eric, medical problems stink. I have problems with my lower intestines. I'm currently taking, sounds an interesting drug there for my problems at the moment. Morgan, that's somewhat what I've been having issues with is intestinal issues, and I had a back issue. So just a double header for me. Look into the Stanley Outdoor Adventure needed cook set. It makes a great cook set and it's perfect for on the go. Cool, man. I'll check that out, Josh. Get home safe bag. Sounds more PC. Yeah. I'm cool with that. Look, if there's any way to get people involved in taking care of themselves, I don't care how we go about doing it, but it's a great idea, man. Jeff Lake's asking 1 Second After by whom. It's William Forstein or Forstein. Really smart individual, man. He does a lot of interviews. Coast to Coast AM had him on. Midnight in the Deserts had him on. He's been there, done that, but he's a pretty smart fella. And he also gives seminars. He'll show up in certain cities and give seminars. Morgan, I have irritable bowel syndrome. It sucks. Yeah, buddy. That's also a nasty one for sure. I have a few get home bags. Yeah, I put a small get home bag in every car because, if I'm going on a long trip, I have a certain amount of stuff in the car. But if I'm just going to be driving in the wintertime, I want to make sure I've got a blanket and layers and food and stuff and a book and lights and all that stuff just in case I'm going to be sitting there overnight because the car went off a cliff and I'm down in the ravine and no one notices me. I'm pinned, or whatever. It's get home safe bag or just, in case of whoops. 1 Second Esther has an audiobook here on YouTube. Oh, cool, man. That would definitely be one way to do it. If you're not big into reading, it's a great story. You can, head to sleep with it, and you might not be able to sleep after listening to it. What is a good antenna for Skip? We have a 4-antenna tower, and I'm going to pull one down and put up a new antenna. I've always had great luck with just regular old dill pole, single pole antenna. The Antron A99 is, an inexpensive, relatively, but good book or good antenna. I'm sorry. Again, I'm reading and thinking. Aren't those explosive or something that will take out? Josh, it's not explosives. Google the Carrington event. It's something that happens naturally. In 1888, it happened, and I start my video that I made here on this and that. But a Carrington event is a solar flare from the sun that just happens to be directed at the Earth. And we have solar flares all the time. Some of them are powerful. Some of them are not so powerful. So if one hits the Earth with enough force, it will fry all electronics. Depending on the severity of it, it'll actually light fire to the power lines. It'll actually burn every electric component. So pretty much every stick-built house, most metal-built houses, most concrete houses are going to suffer a full meltdown. All the wires in your walls fry, your house is going to burn down, right? So you can pretty well imagine that on top of having no electronics working anywhere in the country, including automobiles, motorcycles, things like that, that most infrastructure will burn to the ground on the day of a Carrington event. The other way that you can go about having an EMP is we use a side effect of nuclear weapons. A high altitude burst from a nuclear weapon creates a massive electromagnetic pulse, not quite as powerful as the Carrington event type scenario, but also powerful enough to most likely wipe out all electronics that are in use or plugged in, all automobiles, all that. So we're looking at returning to the Stone Age like that. And it's real. It's not an imaginary thing. It's not a theory. It's real. It's been proven. It happened once before. It certainly will happen again. So something to definitely keep you up at night. Will Carter, sup, bro? Watching from Colorado. Hey, man, how's it going tonight? Be prepared. I learned as a boy. Michael Sean's chiming in. You got that right, man. Boy Scouts taught me that phrase, and it has stuck with me through the Army and through my civilian life as well. Jeff's saying he likes his IMAX 2000. Me too. I've been very pleased with it. Every driver should have some common knowledge to get home safe. They should especially. Oh man, it got cut off. Sorry, man. What makes good conditions for Skip? Atmospheric conditions. I'm going to get into that in a video, so you'll have to hang in there for that one. Matt's saying he's got a Faraday cage that keeps his backup radios. And yes, me too. More or less. I have a lot of stuff in a Faraday. I have several Faraday cages, but I have supplies. Sunspot speckles. Oh, let's see here. Swamp fox. Yeah, I think it's right around the right side of my stomach area, maybe the large intestine, but I was told it was inflammation. Whew, man, Crohn's disease, that's a terrible one as well. I had a friend who had that, and they're deceased, so you got to keep an eye on that stuff. Dallas Rife is chiming in that the Amish will be gangsters if that happens. Very true. But the Amish better arm themselves as soon as that happens very quickly. Yeah, Smith and West is chiming in until the hordes show up. Exactly. Yeah. Josh, that sucks, man. What the? So CB radios that aren't hooked up could work after an EMP event is over. Again, I made a video. I don't know, man. I keep thinking I don't want to upload it. I actually made it last year, and it's such a depressing subject. But yeah, anything that's exposed to the environment would take an electric static charge and would fry, whether it's plugged in or not. So it's pretty severe. An EMP Faraday box is a box that is sealed so that electromagnetics can't enter the box. Anything in that box would be secure, but pretty much beyond that, everything from your little watch to your radio to your TV to the power in your house to your car in the driveway is done. So, should I start studying smoke signals now when the juice runs out? Everybody needs a Colt 45. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, Jeff saying I'll be uploaded, labeled as a doomsday prepper. Pretty much, and that's pretty much why I have not done so. I just think that it's a bad idea to do that. I don't know what's going on there. There's something going on the side here. Let me see. Oh, man, I'm crazy. It's only 8 o'clock. Wow. I thought we'd been at this for longer than that. Tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I've got this thing sitting in front of me. You know what? I'm going to save this. I'm going to smoke this on another night when I can enjoy it. But I am going to smoke a cigar because I don't drink, and it's New Year's Eve-ish. So I was actually thinking about making the world's lamest New Year's Eve party and doing live because I don't drink, I don't smoke, and we could just hang out here, talk about cigars all night and CBs all night and stuff like that. But then I decided that my wife would probably kill me if I was out here in the garage on New Year's Eve instead of hanging out with her. So I guess we'll call tonight New Year's Eve. I am going to smoke my favorite cheap cigar, which is an AYC Grenadier. And I just picked these up when I was down off the mountain. Well, let's see here. I'm only about 22 and a half. Bam. Wow, that's pretty early in life to get that. Light it. I'm going to light it. Lighter. I think pre-77 vehicles are or whatever okay. So Smith & Wesson, there's some debate on that. Yes, if it's a points and condenser, it should be okay. But depending on if it's a Carrington event or an EMP, you might be looking at the windings in the starter and in the alternator or generator literally bursting into flames. So there's some possibilities that would suck even worse than that. I have lived in North Carolina most of my adult life. So my father was in the military, so we traveled around a lot. I was born in Indianapolis, but I moved to a new state every year of my life until I graduated from high school. I graduated from high school in North Carolina, and I've lived there ever since. So I've lived in about half of the states in the country, maybe a little bit more than half the states. K Tanner, I am still on 36. You guys, somebody want to give me a shout out? I'll see if I can hear you. Sorry, Smith & Wesson. I got like no habits left, so smoking a cigar every now and again is about all I got left. Beluga Studio is asking if I've ever been in PA. Why, certainly I have. I came very close to moving to Adams County, Gettysburg, that area there. York, we looked at houses there, so would have worked out. Oh my gosh, hey, Marky Shaw. Hey, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Hope you and the family had a great Christmas. Loving the videos lately. Skip has been insane the last 2 days. Might need to get a stogie too. Marky, always awesome to see you. Marky is the first guy that I ever contacted on YouTube that turned into something awesome. Marky, someday I got to get in touch with you. I would like for you to make even more music for me, man. I want to do a show. I got a friend. We want to do these live shows. We need bumper music. You're the guy. Your music rocks. So, Marky, let's make millions of dollars together somehow. I have no idea how, but we'll figure it out, my friend. Ever lived in Mississippi? I sure have, my friend. NC native here, Tim Harris. Good to see that, man. I've like I said, I count North Carolina as my home because I've certainly lived there most of my life. I've lived there 25 years now, so if I had to say I had a home, that would be my home. Swan Fox is saying he'd kill me. My wife cut me off from those cigars for a while. Yeah, buddy. Sorry, man. Actually, Dallas is saying enjoy the cigar, enjoy the new year coming up. I'm signing off. Good to see you on the air. Give you a call soon. Take care. Dallas, thank you. Everyone, remember this gentleman right here. He's a true saint. Sending me that radio was a above and beyond, and I really do appreciate it, my friend. Take care. Butch is saying it's been good. Have a good night. Take care, Butch. It's always good to have friends on. Smith and West is saying he'll smoke a pipe later on the deck. Hey, Zach saying he's from Gettysburg. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country. I wish that it had worked out for me to live there. Nice house right in the city, or city, whatever you want to call it, with a garage, so I could have worked out of the garage. Would have been lovely. Marky Shaw is saying, hell yes, brother. I will reach out ASCP and we'll make it happen. Oh, man, all right, my friend. All right. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. Hey, put a cigar in a dude's mouth and just cheers right up, right? I've been to RTP in Wilmington many times for work. Great country there. Wilmington, have you ever been to the Battleship North Carolina? Because that is crazy, man. That battleship is so beautiful. Every time I head to the beach, I make sure to drag my poor but loving wife along with me through that tour. I could spend all day on the Battleship North Carolina, and she could spend all day at the beach. So we break it down to half and half, but I think that's a good compromise. Can't believe how many folks we got on here tonight. 52 has been pretty constantly at 52. I'm amazed that folks want to hang out with me for that amount of time. But let's see here. I better put this thing down or I'll smoke it all at once. So anybody want to talk about anything weird? Picking up something. Jeff saying this is your first live stream with me. Well, I think this is probably my 7th or 8th live stream, and I never expected anyone to show up at all. I never knew what was going to be involved in it, like if people would even be interested in it, really. But they have been. I got to say, people are usually pretty happy. They show up here, that we talk about stuff. And Sal, boy, a lot of first-timers there. Jeff, are you the one that sent me the one that you have a lawn tractor that you drive all over town? Because that was a pretty cool setup. But let's see. My father was deployed on the USS Arkansas during World War II and then the Wasp. Holy cow. Yeah. Cool. Mark Shaw, what's the spookiest thing that has happened on the farm? That is a funny story. So the first year I was up here, we had a lot of really, really cloudy, foggy days. Obviously, in the mountains, you're in the clouds. So it was a really crazy night. I got home kind of like it was yesterday here. We had a lot of cold weather, and then we had one day that was really warm and rainy. I worked all day outside, came inside at the end of the night, forgot something was going on, and had to go back out to the garage. It's well past dark. You know, I've got the porch lights on. I walk out of the house, and fog is so thick you can't see anything, man. So I'm like, can't see but maybe to the front of the car. It's 10 feet at most, right? So I walk down the steps and I'm there, and this owl has got to be sitting on top of the garage and lets out the biggest, loudest, owl call, that screeching sound. You can't see him. You can't see anything. And I mean, I just froze because it just took me so far off guard. It sounded like it was standing on my shoulder, but for some reason it gave me that chill feeling up my spine, and I just freaked out for a second, and I was so spooked that I actually said, "Holy crap!" and I'm sure the owl flew away. Oh man! Oh, I'm sorry. The live stream's dropping out. Scared me right back into the house. Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty close. Jeff's asking, what channel are you on the road? I've got it on scan, but if I'm going to sit on a channel, I'm on 19. That's where all the action is these days. So, oh yeah, first time you heard a rattlesnake, yeah, you just freeze and oh god, it's like a lot of times the conscious part, the intelligence part of us knows that it can't hurt us. Well, not in the snake of a rattlesnake, but like if you see a black snake in your yard, when you first see it, you freeze and go, oh. And then, that's that primal part of you, your brain, the thinking part's like, that's not going to be a problem. But tell that to that primal part, right? What is your favorite antenna for a pickup truck? 102 steel web? Got to be, man. No truck is a truck without a 102 on it. I've never used a Baofeng, Josh. No, never had one. I've got the the Retrievus models. I have an HD1 and an RT83 that I just picked up. I've got the little RT45s that I picked up, and I just got a company from China contacting me called Aliwiz, and they sent me some nice GMRS radios to review, and I was just playing with those today. So those are really cool, man. Oh, I'm on channel 36 lower sideband if anyone's trying to reach me. Jeff was asking about that. Anthony Capino, skip for months. Oh, that's too bad, man. How's the liver mush out there? Oh, man. That's an acquired taste. I'm more of a Spam guy, potted meat, but liver mush is, you got to be in the mood for that. Back when I was drinking, I could eat that stuff, but sober, not so much. Josh, at what point in your career were you able to purchase land and a house? And were you able to spend more time on it? Thank you. Josh, that's an interesting question. A lot of people do ask me. Again, I don't really talk about finances that often on this channel. A lot of homesteaders probably don't, but the secret to being able to afford to do this and then to move away is to have more than one iron in a fire, I think is the phrase. I do a lot of things. I make these videos and I get a little income off of that. I fix cars and I get a little income off of that. I work the farm and I sell meat and eggs and I get a little money off of that. So if you were to say go to college and get a degree in psychology and become the world's best psychologist, that is what you would be. And you would never be more than that unless you choose to be. I went to school to become a mechanic, but I knew right away that that wasn't all I wanted to be. So I learned construction and I worked in construction, and I learned plumbing and I worked in plumbing, and I learned electricity and I worked in electricity. And so I kept learning, and I've been able to exploit all those talents to make money. And I think if you're really serious about becoming a homesteader, buying your own land, trying to do this for yourself, you have to be a jack of all trades. Or someone here once told me I was a Renaissance man because I know all these different skills. Those skills can be put to use. When your neighbor's lawnmower breaks down and you can fix it, that's a skill that you can make money with. And on and on and on. So if I had to give advice financially, it's that just because you get a job as a fill in the blank, as a whatever, don't just stick with that. Do more than that. Be more than that. And that's what will lead you to success, because as they age out of one career, you have others to fall back on. Where when a psychologist stops being a psychologist, if that's all they've been, that's all they will be. Does that make sense, my friend? Deviled hand for the win, Smith & Wesson? Heck yeah, man. My wife loves that stuff. She always eats it all. That's why I don't buy it that much anymore. Josh is saying 10-4. I understand you need a ham license to operate a Baofeng. Yes, you do. Yeah, legally. I'll leave it at that. There's a lot of folks that bought them as part of bug out bags or as a prep that don't have ham licenses, and more power to them. Jeff saying don't go lower than the Wilson 1000. I don't know. I use Tram products, which are like identical to the Wilson. The Tram 300 is the Wilson 1000, but I had that I really like the. No, I'm sorry. The 300 is the Little Will. Marky Shaw saying, "Oh man, I missed it. I have no way to scroll back up. For some reason, the mouse stopped working here. We always think about it when we're out drinking beers. Oh man, Marky, whatever you said, say it again so I can read it. What about emergency use? Yeah, Josh, that's exactly it. If you had a Baofeng and it was an emergency, you didn't have a license. Do you really care that you don't have a license in an emergency? Jeff, when this, you know what, hits the fan, they will Jeff, I don't give out my call sign. I've talked about it earlier, why I don't do that. Personal information, every inch of personal information can be garnered from the call sign, so I do not give that out. You can use it in an emergency without a license. Yep. Jeff Lake, yes, I'm only 14 and my parents don't like having a big antenna on their car. Yeah, that's understandable. A lot of females don't like having antennas. A lot of guys don't like the aesthetics of having that. Mark Sean, save big by being able to take care of your home and all by yourself. Yes. Michael, yes. I don't have to call anyone for anything, and that's how I save a lot of money here on the farm. Marky Shaw, man, we have been tuning my buddy's barn into a mini Farpoint Farms. It seems like modified mowers, CB radios, and a lot of auto parts. We've always been thinking of you when we're out in the barn drinking beers. Awesome, Marky. Yes, that's great, man. That is great. Oh, Jeff, you wanted to ask what my call sign is here. I'm sorry, man. I thought you meant my hand call sign. Yep, call for Farpoint Farms. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? There's a bunch of people. I'm trying to read all this stuff. I don't know. I'm getting confused. Back to the homesteading. Yeah, if you're going to be a homesteader, you better be able to do it all yourself because you're never going to be able to afford to do it if you have to pay somebody else. There was a beautiful farm that was for sale up in Maine that we looked at before we moved here. 50 acres, 100 apple trees already set 30 years in, right? Had 50 cow, had the pastures, everything was fenced, had barns, had all of it. You know why they said they were getting out of it? The price was insane too. It was such a good deal. The reason they were getting out of it, because, and I quote, it was too expensive to pay people to take care of it all. So why would you buy a farm and then pay somebody else to do it, right? If you're going to have a little farm for yourself, if you're going to buy a house and some land and develop that land, if you're just going to buy land, chop it all down and put it all together, you're going to want to be able to take care of all that yourself because that's the only way you're going to be able to afford to do that work. Let's see. You need a co-host. I do, and we've been trying to figure that out. Mr. Tanner, we have been, my friend and I have been trying to do this split screen thing. And Marky, if you're interested in doing that, send me an email. Maybe we can figure out how to do it. But I want to use Google Hangouts, do a show with two folks, have a little bumper music, have calls, video calls or audio calls, as well as this text. I want to do this. That's my New Year's resolution. Tried once again tonight to get this thing set up, and I just cannot figure it out. So if any of y'all out there want to give Farpoint Farms a hand for the new year, I will do a weekly show every Saturday if I can get this stuff up and running, because I love talking and I love reading the comments and kind of reacting. But I think for a real true radio show to work or a real video show to work, I've got to have a co-host and I've got to have calls and I've got to have stuff to talk about. I've got the stuff to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about, I love it. So Mike Miller's asking, how's the Harbor Freight lift doing? Awesome. I love it, man. I've brought cars up and down a bunch, and I won't say that it's paid for itself yet, but I'm super happy with it, and I can definitely tell you that it was an expensive purchase, but a very good one, and definitely the right choice to make. Beluga Studios, my mom hates having an 18-foot antenna on her house. Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, there's no way to make a CB antenna that looks super pleasing, although the President New Yorker that we put up is pretty darn close. Frankie C saying, what do you think of 5/8 wave based on antennaization? What do you think about the Solarcon IMAX 2000? I have a Solarcon IMAX 2000. I love it. I think it's a little bit of a step up from an A99. I don't think it's as big a step up as I thought it would be, but I'm very happy with its performance. It's a big antenna, a lot bigger than the A99, but it's working very well. Psycho for you, good evening. Good evening to you, my friend. Thoughts on oil catch cans? Are you talking about like taking the oil catch cans? Are you talking about like automotive wise, like taking the PCV valve out and just dropping an oil catch can? I'm confused with that one. Sorry, my friend. Jordan B, I was able to add you to Google Hangout, but I think you have to accept the invite. Okay, so right now I'm not on Google Invites because we couldn't get it working. So I went back to the old YouTube way of streaming. So we will try that again. And again, don't be surprised, folks, if you see a bunch of live streams coming up in the next couple of days that don't actually, don't think you missed them. If they're 5 or 10 minutes in length, these are just going to be tests, but there's no way to go live without going live. So you may see a bunch of weird videos, and I may end up deleting them when I'm done, but we'll figure that out later. But all part of the process of kind of ramping this up. Jeff is saying he has an A99 and an IMAX 2000 on the house. I've got both on my garage, my barn here, so that's pretty cool. You're asking me what I'm heating right now. I'm actually just using just this little kerosene heater I've got right next to me. Yeah, it's still pretty darn cold out here, but it's warm enough to do this. I warm my hands up every few minutes here, and it's not so bad. How long do you think CB is going to last before it dies out? Until they make it illegal, and then probably another 50 years past that, my friend. CB's not going anywhere. It has peaks and dips and valleys and waves, but it's still pretty cool, my friend. There's plenty of people getting into it as other people get out of it, so it's not going anywhere. Let's see here. I've had an A99 up since around 95. Poor thing sheds a little now, but still hears and talks great. Yeah, mine is from the year 2000, still doing okay. I keep waiting for it to die, but it's hanging. Wow. Matt is pointing out his farm is a 2,500 acre farm. The work is hard and the pay is low. Yes, but it's real. You know what I mean? Jeff is saying I am a human streamer. I guess so. I hope that's a good thing. Swamp Fox is commenting he thinks he's making a slow comeback. I actually do too. There's more people on the radio now than there was 5 years ago. I will say that for sure. And it's not just the location I'm in, but Raleigh being a much bigger city where I used to live, you would have thought there had been a lot more local traffic there. Hardly any. Up here, there's a lot of local traffic as well as a lot of skips. So, Stephen Patton, I watched your video on the Unit 980 and I decided to purchase one. God bless you and a happy new year to you. Well, you too. I'm glad that I was able to help you out with that decision making. You know, it's not a cheap thing to buy. So I hope you're happy with it as I am with mine. So take care, my friend. James saying he just bought a Unit Pro 510 XL and a K30 to put on his truck. It's been 30 years. Watching your videos got me hooked again. I'm always glad to bring someone back into the hobby. So that's awesome, man. I hope you enjoy it. And if you turn it on and roll through those stations and don't hear anyone, please don't give up. Just keep it on, man. Keep it on. Keep trying. You'll love it, my friend. Psycho for you got a Cobra 148 for a CB and a Baofeng to start for the hand game, starting for his tech license. Sounds like you got the stuff covered, don't you? Jeff is asking me, do you have code? Do I know CW? I do. It's been many years since I practiced it, so I'd probably be very rusty at it. But at one point, definitely did. I'm going to go about another 10 or 15 minutes. So if anyone has any last minute questions they'd like to bring up, I'd love to. Next time we do a show, I'm going to do CB related stuff because I always do, but I'm going to start trying to move into the new live format, which I've had a lot of folks talk about Art Bell and that kind of stuff. And I know there's a lot out there. It happens to be a passion of mine to talk about the unknown. And I hope you all will enjoy some of that conversation. Certainly we can always move back to CB radio stuff. I'm not going to block any comments or anything like that, but I do want to get into some stuff. Missing 411 being a big part of my current interest. I've been reading the books and listening to a lot of this guy's interviews about these missing people in national parks, and I've been finding it extremely interesting. So it's something I want to bring a guest on and have a discussion about, and hopefully you will come chime in here. And also, I'm hoping to have a call-in number for you. So that's something that I want to try to do here after the first of the year. That's my New Year's wish. Video-wise, we're going to be doing vacuum tube junk. Eric, take care, my friend. We're also going to be doing, I'm going to be trying to do at least 2 videos a week plus the live show. So we're going back to cigar videos. So a lot's changing in the new year. So I'm glad. I hope you'll all be there with me. Beluga Studios got the RG213 and it works great. It does. It's a whole lot better. Jeff is saying he's got CW hooked up in a Superstar 3900. By the way, great radio, my friend. I've heard nothing but awesome things about that. When does the ground thaw so we can start seeing the farm stuff? Yeah, again, we got to wait till spring. I have done a couple of repair videos. I'm also doing some more mechanic-y videos. I hope that doesn't bore too many of you. They've never been big hits here, but I've been having to do more work, so I've been filming more of it. Jordan B, Coast to Coast AM. You can't get enough of that, my friend. Psycho for you. I've been a Bigfoot field researcher for years. Psycho for you. Email me privately, and I will share my story, which is also under the Halloween video that I have about my encounter with a Bigfoot-like creature when I was younger a firsthand experience, no doubt in my mind what I saw. Definitely something I'd be happy to talk with you about. I do motor assisted bicycles, Jeff. Those are super cool. I've been thinking about getting one of those kits. I'd have to get a bicycle to go with it, but I've been thinking about playing one of those kits, man. 741 saying he's looking forward to the new live stream format. I hope y'all do. Anytime a channel changes, there's definitely going to be some turmoil. I've had a lot of people complain that they want to just see CV stuff, or they want to just see homesteading stuff from me. And so my channel being so many different things, it's probably one of the odder ones on the internet, but I'm not going to stop doing anything else. So it's just going to be an addition, and it may not work. And we'll go back to this. So, failure is always an option. Lots of Bigfoot sightings in the Uaris. Yeah, really, Tim. I had no idea. Uaris, I lived fairly close to back in the day. Jeff Maynard, I was calling Ring Ring. Jeff, I am not on Google Hangouts right now. I'm on the old school live control for YouTube, so I can't take a Google call. I'd have to crash this and start another one. It's just crazy. But Marky's saying we can definitely figure out the technical details. Love the idea. Marky, I would love it, and I don't know what your schedule is, but maybe we could work something out. If you couldn't join me every week, I would love to do even once a month. So like I could have rotating co-hosts. I know I've got my buddy who goes by the name Rockin' Woody from our days on 1670, who has really wanting to do this. And if I could get Marky to come on, or any of you who were willing to sit here for an hour or two and be civil, because Art Bell was always civil. It doesn't matter if you believe or disbelieve what a person is saying when they come on a show. Give them the opportunity to say what they have to say, explore those possibilities, and who knows, they might change your mind. And that's really what I'm looking for in the show. I'm not looking for in your face. I'm not looking for, trash talking. I'm looking for an interesting discussion on interesting topics. Jeff saying, like everything I post. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Not everyone does, but I appreciate the few of you who do. Oh man, I missed that interesting video on YouTube about radio stations, the EU. You're talking about number stations. Very interesting, man. Thanks for Michael Sean saying, thanks for the instructional type videos. I learned a lot about repairing my lawn tractor a couple of years ago. Still watching. Have a good night. Time to stretch the legs. Michael Sean, take care, my friend. I'm glad I could have you on board. Those videos really did make me kind of a popular channel. My CV videos did not make me a popular channel. My lawn tractor, garden tractor videos made me popular. And then it just kind of rolled from there. So I'm trying to find that happy medium. Brinley has contacted me. They maybe want me to take a look at some of their products, because I've bought a lot of their products over the years, and they're getting free advertising. They're thinking about maybe talking to me about maybe advertising with me on purpose. So hopefully other changes in the spring on that. Hannah Lodge, Merry Christmas from the Outer Banks. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Base Station 77, do you have a podcast, or have you considered a podcast? I used to, years ago, do a podcast. I do my pirate radio station show every once in a while. And I would love to do a podcast. It's hard to be everything, my friend. If you have any advice for me about podcasting and would like to contact me, go to my contact info here on my YouTube page and send me some information. I'd be happy to look into it, because I would love to do that. Wire welding. I need a separator? Okay, so SWR meters, if your radio comes equipped with one, most of the time it'll be fine to use that. A standalone one is generally a little more accurate, but no need to have two if you can't afford it. If you just have one on your radio, one's good enough. Swamp Fox, I like the mechanical videos for the simple fact of gaining knowledge. It may not be important to me now, but later it might be. Besides, after you do your video, it may help someone in the future. And that's been my whole thing, is if I'm repairing something, maybe I can teach folks how to do so. 10 years down the road, somebody might have that problem, find my video and get help out of that. And I'm all about helping folks out, man. Mike Miguel, have a good New Year's and keep up the good work. More CB antenna. I'm going to go buy that unit in 9080 so we can talk. Matt, take care, my friend. Be good. Looking forward to the Sasquatch Encounter stream, Smith & Wesson. Good, man. So it's real. It happened. And I look forward to having a discussion about that. So maybe we can have a guest on there and we can spend a whole week talking about that. We can spend the 2 hours on that. So 741, same here. My old Dakota videos get the most views. My radio videos are for my own fun. Yeah, somebody asked me about how to become a somewhat successful YouTube personality, which cracks me up because I am nowhere near that. I do have, more than 10,000 subscribers, which I guess makes you sort of somebody. I don't know how it works, but I'm blessed to have that many of you on board with me. And my advice to them was the same advice I give everyone that's thinking about doing this, and I think everyone should make videos. If you make videos about stuff that interests you, stuff that you like doing, it's going to show. And if you're in a good mood and you're having a fun time doing it, it's going to be something that people will want to watch. That's been my impression of it. There's a couple videos that I've struggled hard with, and they don't do well because people could tell I'm not really enjoying myself. So that's advice for you. But yeah, man. So like I made videos on radios that I didn't think anyone would ever watch, and they've become quite popular because I really enjoy making them. I enjoy playing with radios. For a long time, I didn't make car repair videos because they just weren't fun for me. I do it for a living, or I had been. And so it was work, and work shows up on a camera like you're working, and it doesn't really look all that fun. So there you are. Wire welding, I'm 13, about to put a CB radio on my dad's truck. Good for you, my friend. I hope your installation goes well, and I hope to hear you on the air someday, my friend. Take care of yourself there, buddy. I'm going to give it about another 5 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up for the night, but I have had a great time talking with all of you. I'm glad to hear that some of you will be on board for a new weekly show, and I hope that you'll join me on that show and bring your opinions and your thoughts on the subjects we cover. To Vacuum Tube Junkie saying, real quick, you should have 2 SWR meters, one at the radio and one at the antenna. This will give you a world of info regarding coax loss. That is a good point. Sometimes things go wrong. There's manufacturing defects. You can buy brand new cabling and have an issue in that cabling. So definitely one. 741 is saying, agreed. I could make videos about my profession, but I don't because I know I'd hate it. Yeah. So there's lots of mechanic videos out there, and now I'm just starting to get into them because, again, I've kind of almost completely retired from working on cars for a living. So then it becomes fun again. It becomes more of a hobby. So Jeff Lake saying he's out. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. I've enjoyed being there. I will do that, and we'll talk about it, man. Take care, Jeff. Find a job you truly love and never work a day in your life. Kate Tanner, I feel a little differently about that. Find a job you truly love, and when you start doing it for a living, you'll slowly fall out of love with it. That's been my case. So cars were a hobby. Cars were my passion. Cars were my love. And little by little, year after year, after 25 years of it, I became really disenfranchised, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I could do it blindfolded. I could do it well, but I didn't feel the passion for it anymore. And anytime I took time away from that, after a week or two, then I felt it like, gee, I want to go out in the garage and work on something. For me, the passion was still there when I worked on lawn tractors and garden tractors, things like that, because they're different enough that it was different. That was my hobby. And now that I'm walked away from all of it, I can work on anything again and find joy in it. But for me, it kind of killed it for me for a while, doing it for a living. So that's it. Guys, I am going to check out here. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We had quite a big show tonight, but my voice is starting to go, and it's getting no warmer out here. So I hope you all had a great time. I did. As always, I very, very much appreciate all of you coming in, stopping by, being a part of Farpoint Farms. We are at 13,000 subscribers, over 3 million views. And that is a huge deal for a guy who hangs out in his garage and makes videos. Sticks is saying, can't wait for the new show. Checking Podbean. I see your point. Wow, there's a whole bunch of them rolling in here. Thank you. Have a great one. Got to run. All of you got to run. Excellent time tonight. Best CB radios on the videos. Thank you, Wire Welding. And I will see you all next time. From Farpoint Farms, I am Eric. I wish you all a happy new year, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Well, now.